there's power to being delusional. You have to be delusional if you want to achieve anything in life, because there's always going to be that one part of you that's going to believe you can't do it. There's always going to be that one part of you that's going to doubt. There's always going to be that one part of you that does not have enough sufficient self-confidence. But that one part of you that does not have the sufficient self-confidence will be the very, very part that will either help you achieve it or that will break you. And so being delusional, and I think being delusional plays such a big part, especially when it comes to confidence. And confidence comes from an internal aspect of how you have dealt with failure in the past. In the sense with delusional, you must be delusional. And I feel like sometimes you're like, how do I be delusional, right? And you have to advocate for it, not just simply be and then that's it. Because if you don't advocate it for it, then many will tell you exactly what you are not, who you are, what you can do, what your limitations are. They'll tell you what you can do. They will tell you your limitations for you. And if you're not delusional enough to advocate enough for yourself, to believe that you can do it, to believe that you have the possibility to do, even if you think, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. There's not, like, I don't have a solution. Logically, I know that I have this goal and it seems like a dream from afar when I explain it to you, but it's like, but if you're so delusional to believe that you can have it, to believe that you can do it, then that same delusional will be the drive that will illuminate where you need to go. And where did this delusional part came to place? You know, it didn't just, you know, I didn't just take a stick out of my ass and just started talking about being delusional. It came about when, also the light is leaving, so bear with me. It came about when I was having a conversation with a family member, and it was not necessarily a conversation, it was more like a commentary. I was already kind of saying what I was going to have in the future, whether if it's a car or it's a house, whatever. Already, such things are the manifestation of them. It's not the drive, right? And that's a different topic. And what I mean by that, it's like your drive, let's say, to get out of your 9 to 5, or your drive to understand yourself more or confront your traumas. There must be like, what are you trying to aim for? You know, and materialistic items are not the thing. They're just a manifestation of your success, of the very thing that you're after. And so I had made a comment on how I was going to have X car already. You know, my X car already, I just have yet to claim at the dealership. And one of my family members was like, this person really thinks she's going to have this car. This person really thinks she's going to get this. And in the midst of that, I laughed. I was like, wow. I was like, you can expect that. When you have goals or when you propose yourself to do something out of the norm from what the whole world is doing, you can expect the adversity. And I'm telling you now, you will expect the adversity, you will expect the opposition, and that's something that just comes with it. Obviously, no one wants it, and it's nothing to be desired, but such opposition, instead of it allowing it to be the very thing that hinders you, it could be the very thing that drives you. And I'm not saying just because they didn't believe in me, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show it to them, and I'm going to prove it to them. No. I mean, yeah, that works too, but let that not be the number one thing that to say, oh, I'll just do this to show it to you and to know that I can't prove it. Those are the wrong reasons to why you should be doing it in the first place. But in the aspect of being delusional, people can and will derail you. They will give you opposition for it because they don't believe, whether they don't believe in themselves or they don't believe in you. And so it's like, all the more if they are used to their own comfort zone and they're used to whatever it is that the world is doing, and you are out here chasing something out of the norm from what the rest of the world is not doing. So you can ultimately believe and know this, that the belief in themselves is not even there. Such why they don't have it. Such why they don't have certain things or the circumstances that they're in is because their belief and that is not their chase, and that's totally fine. If their belief with themselves is not there, then it's going to be reflected onto you because you're ultimately the crazy one. You are the crazy one for chasing something so wildly profound that the world isn't doing, okay? And I'm going to tell you, you're not crazy. You're not the crazy one. And they want to make you believe that you are the crazy one. And I feel like I am crazy right now. Like, literally, the light is just, the sunset is going down, and normally we tend to do natural lighting. So give me a second and I am going to fix this lighting. Okay, we're back with better lighting. We're not literally in the dark and my full face is red like, you're not crazy. I'm like, yeah, I'm crazy. We were talking about being delusional. So yeah, even if you think you can't possibly do what you propose yourself to do, I promise you that you can. And the reason that I'm saying that is that someone else in the world has something that you desire. Someone else in the world has the very dream that is placed in your heart. Someone else has the very thing that you want. So if someone else has it, why can't you have it? Why can't you have it? Just because it's out of the norm and the rest of the world isn't doing it? That doesn't make sense to me. You should all the more have it. Others will propose their limiting beliefs onto you. They will project their limiting beliefs onto you. And this is where opposition comes into play. And it's either in that moment, I could have felt in that moment when that family member had said, this girl honestly thinks she's gonna get this. This girl honestly thinks she has this. In that moment, I could have actually gotten a bit like, I could have given power over to his words. I could have given power to those words and let it affect me and let it be like, maybe I'm not capable. No, maybe I am capable, and I know that I am, and I'm so crazy and so delusional. If you want to call me crazy, then okay, go ahead, call me crazy. But I know it's possible, and it's like, and I'm telling you, be so delusional, and it's advocating for yourself, and it comes time and time again where it's like, if you don't have a strong voice for yourself, and I know it's like, I can sit here and I can tell you about advocating for yourself, but it's like, there's like past traumas that you have to confront, and obviously everyone has their own past traumas, and everyone has like why they're weird, why you are the way you are, not necessarily stemming from that past trauma, but when you confront those things, you really see how true my words are. And those of you who have confronted their past traumas, it's just advocating for yourself, and it's like, it really does make a difference, because if you don't strongly advocate for yourself, if you don't have that voice, if you don't have that backbone, what you're saying and what you're allowing, what you don't have, your filter, your backbone, if it's not there, then the world will be your backbone. Then others will be their backbone. Then what others' self-limiting belief about themselves will be your limiting self-belief. And that's not how it should work. It shouldn't work that way. That shouldn't be your limiting self-belief. Just because they think they can't do it, and they think they don't got the guts, they don't think they're intelligent enough, just because they don't think they can do it, that does not mean that they can project it onto you. It just doesn't mean that they can project it onto you. But if you don't have enough of a strong voice, if you're not delusional enough to think that you can actually do it, you're gonna actually believe, I can't do it, because they're believing you can't do it. So the backbone really has to be there. And that's when I figured it out. That's when I figured out opposition shouldn't be the very thing that hinders you from going in the direction in which you want to go. Opposition shouldn't be the very thing that hinders you. And that's the mistake that so many make, is that they let opposition be the very thing that, I've been in the past where it's like the opposition and the words of the lack of self-confidence that maybe others had in me, I allowed that for it to affect me. And I allowed it, and it's only a waste of time for you. It only slows you down. It doesn't really help, not in that way. But if we flip it around, and that's the thing about this world, is that it's like, always flip it around. Every experience, that no matter what life throws at you, you have the possibility, you have the power to flip it around. Whether if it's a negative experience, whether if it's a positive experience, mostly for the negative ones, whether you didn't ask for them or not, there's always that one thing that life can never take away from you, and it's flipping them, meaning you got something out of it. If you had a bad breakup and it was nasty, there's something you could learn from it. There's something you could learn. If you are sick, there's something you can learn from it. Whatever it is, you can always flip it around. And that's something life can't take away from you. When it comes to being delusional, I want you to be so delusional to the very thing that you were desiring, the very thing that you're wishing. Act as if you already have it. You already have that set thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It doesn't have to be a materialistic item. It could be a person. It could be maybe a home. It could be a lifestyle. It could be maybe a new version of yourself. I don't know, but act as if the very thing that you already have it, because when you start to act of the very thing you have it, your mind will start to close this gap of like, okay, what exactly do we have to do? What are the inputs that we have to, what is there in our control? Because ultimately, some of the outputs, they're out of your control, but what is something that is in my control, and let's look the inputs that I put, what will be my outputs, and I can evaluate that. But even that, it's having this delusion in yourself that you can do this, even when you think, I have no idea how I'm going to get there. And it's fine, because the majority of the times, let's say you're out on the ocean, you're not gonna see your destination right from the get-go on the site. You're gonna have to know that where you're going, it's in that direction, but the fact that you were on that direction in the first place. Because what ends up happening is that when you're not so delusional and people are telling you, you can't do this and you can't do that, what ends up happening? You start to drift into a different direction. The wind started blowing, and they started blowing so harshly that you started drifting in the other direction. And now it's like, you're way over there. And it's like, that is in the danger, we're wasting time, red zone alert. like that's like truthfully honest about this. It's just like, I don't know. And so I was like, and I'm telling you, let the opposition, because you're going to get opposition. Where there's opposition, there's going to be opposition, right? In every good, when has there not been any opposition? But allow that not to hinder you, but let it drive you. And it's training of the mind. It could be easier said than done, and it really is training in the mind. It's challenging yourself. And I know that sometimes when it comes to fear tends to be an emotion that's avoiding, like you don't want to go through it. And it's this phrase that every time I'm going through something difficult, I'm going through like a difficult time, I always say I have to break down in order to break through. And it's true, I have to break down in order to break through. And the same thing with you. You have to break down in order to break through. In the same way, if we look at like muscle, upper body, or like building muscle, you're gonna have to break down those muscle fibers in order for it to get stronger. You're gonna feel stupid before you feel smarter. You're gonna feel broke, but it's like, when there's such humility, you're gonna feel broke until you feel rich, or you're gonna feel the opposite of what you desire. But it's like, no, it's like, you're in this process, and you get to be in this process. If you don't have the urge to get to the place where you want to get to so quickly, only then that you can't stay there because you were in a rush to get there in the first place. And it's seeing how grateful and how exciting it could be at the same time, like finding these like beautiful spots, these light spots where it's like, you get to do this. You get to explore this. It's difficult, and maybe it doesn't have to be difficult, and there's always how you're perceiving things, but it's an experiment within itself, and it's like your characters of developing something in which once you're in the destination, maybe the refinement of your character just won't be as it was when it was in the process of it, right? So it's like you get to, and it's having that right attitude, because I think for me, it's like what I've learned is like this journey of calming your mind down. And it's like, if I don't learn how to calm my mind down, I will go into this downward spiral. And it's like, you need to calm down. You will feel when the opposition hits and the adversity hits, you're gonna be in this downward spiral. You're gonna want to act on your emotions, but I'm telling you, be so delusional enough that you're advocating for yourself, but also learn to calm your mind and learn not to act on your emotions that will drive you to make these harsh, rash decisions that ultimately will be the opposite where you want to go. And don't let the opposition hinder you. Let it be the very thing to drive you, and flip it. Whatever experience you are going through, how the people that you have in your life, or whoever you're dealing with, you can always find a way to flip the situation and find it in a way that will serve you. That is that one thing that life can't take away from you. But it's applying it in a sense of applying it with a calm mind. Because when you're high on emotion, you're gonna make some rash decisions, and it's not gonna feel good. So let's feel it out. This is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and like that video. I have a video that's called You Are Not Alone, which I feel like majorly contributes to the topic that we're talking about, and I'll have it right here on the screen. And so right here, I don't know, wherever, I'll have it on the screen if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, because you are not alone. And it's just like how you yourself is coming into play, and your backbone and how you're talking to yourself really matters. That is all coming into play. So if you guys want to hear more of that, you can click on that video. And if you did like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Double dab, and you damn bye.